Before we begin, I need you to understand something. This is not a story about a watch. This is a story about what a human being is capable of when they stop caring what other people think. And it will make you question everything you did today. January 2008, Geneva, Switzerland. A 53-year-old watchmaker named Ernst Voss walked into a 12-square-meter room, locked the door from the inside, and disappeared. Not from the world. From the version of the world that needs to be seen to exist. Nobody knew what he was building. Nobody was supposed to know because what he was attempting had never, in the entire history of mechanical horology, been completed by a single pair of human hands. 1,366 components, every single one designed from scratch, every single one fabricated by hand, every single one assembled in a room with one lamp, one bench, and no witnesses. He called it the perpetual equation of time. The watch community called it something else. They called it impossible. Here is what impossible actually means. The most complex production watch ever built required a team of engineers, 3 years, and a factory the size of a city block. Voss was doing it alone, in a room smaller than your bathroom, and he had already decided it would take as long as it needed to take. That sentence, right there, is the part that should stop you. Because you live in a world that has forgotten how to say that sentence. He had been preparing for 40 years, not for this specific watch, for the hands that could build it. At 17, he enrolled in watchmaking school in Zurich. He was not the fastest student. He was not the most talented. He was the most still. While other students rushed through their exercises, Voss would hold a single component suspended between his tweezers and wait. Wait until the tremor passed. Wait until his breath slowed. Wait until his hands became something closer to instruments than body parts. By his 40s, his hands could feel the difference between a screw torqued correctly and one torqued by 1 micron too much. Not measure it, feel it. That is what 40 years of stillness builds. That is what no shortcut produces. March 2008. The first component is placed. It takes him 11 minutes, not because it was difficult, because he refused to do it until it was perfect. He opens his notebook. He writes the date. He draws the component in precise detail. He marks a small number in the corner. 1 of 1,366. He does not allow himself to think about the other 1,365. This is the only psychological trick he uses. One component, then the next, then the next. He has no timeline, no milestones, no investors, no audience, just the work. Year 3, the mainspring. 0.08 millimeters thick, thinner than a human hair, the most critical component in the movement, the one that stores every joule of energy the watch will ever use. He has spent 3 months preparing for this single installation. He positions the tweezers, he holds his breath, and then the spring falls. You don't hear it hit the bench. Metal that thin makes no sound, but when he looks down, he sees the 2 pieces lying on the velvet, a clean fracture, irreversible. 3 months gone. He does not move for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Then he writes one word in his notebook. Restart. He opens a drawer. He takes a new spring from its paper envelope. He holds it to the light, and he begins again. This is the moment that separates Voss from every other watchmaker alive. Not skill, not talent, not genius. The ability to begin again without resentment. Year 7. A man in a dark suit arrives at the workshop door. He carries a leather briefcase. He has flown in from Zurich. He represents a collector whose name you would recognize. He opens the briefcase. The document inside contains a number, 2 million Swiss francs, for the unfinished watch. Voss looks at the document for exactly as long as it takes him to understand what it says. Then he looks at his bench, then back at the visitor. One slow head shake. No anger, no hesitation, no. The collector accepts the answer. He closes the briefcase. He leaves. Voss picks up his tweezers. He never mentions the offer again. That same year, the right eye begins to fail, not blindness. Worse than blindness in some ways, degradation. The kind that makes you doubt what you're seeing without taking away the ability to see. For a watchmaker working at 10x magnification, this is not an inconvenience, this is an existential threat. He goes to the doctor, he receives the diagnosis. He walks back to the workshop, he opens the door, he sits down, he picks up the tweezers. Because what else is there to do? The work doesn't stop because the body is failing. The work continues, the body adjusts. Year 11. The movement is 90% complete. For the first time, it ticks. Not a clean tick, not a regulated tick. An irregular, searching, almost alive tick. The sound of something that has been silent for 11 years finding its voice. Voss does not celebrate. He picks up the timing machine. He begins regulating. 12 seconds per day. Adjustment. 8 seconds, adjustment. 3 seconds, he nods. Once. Barely. 2022. 14 years after he locked that door, Ernst Voss installs the final screw, 0.3 millimeters in diameter, 28 threads per millimeter, torqued to exactly the right tension by hands that have done this 10,000 times. He sets down the tweezers, both hands, flat on the bench, and he stays there, not from exhaustion. From the particular stillness that comes after something that cannot be undone has been done. The movement runs, all 1,366 components. The equation of time, Cam tracing the difference between solar and mechanical time. The perpetual calendar advancing through years that won't arrive until after he's gone. It runs perfectly. The way things run when they have been built by someone who had nothing to prove and no deadline to meet. The watch sold at private auction, 5,100,000 Swiss francs. But here is what that number doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you about the winter of 2011, when he fell asleep at his bench at 3:47 in the morning with his hands still resting beside the movement. It doesn't tell you about the coffee cup that went cold every single day for 14 years because he forgot it existed the moment work began. It doesn't tell you about the 2 million he refused. Or the eye that kept failing, or the mainspring that broke, or the door that stayed locked while the rest of the world built careers and took vacations and optimized their morning routines and asked themselves why they felt empty. The number tells you what someone was willing to pay. It tells you nothing about what it cost. There is a 2mm gear still sitting on the corner of Voss's bench. He left it there when he handed the watch over. Nobody knows if it was an accident. Some people think he left it deliberately. A reminder that even after 14 years, something small remains. That completion and perfection are not the same thing. That the work is never entirely finished. It's only handed over. You watch this because some part of you already knows what you're not doing, what you're delaying, what you're optimizing instead of building, what you're waiting to feel ready for. Voss didn't feel ready in January 2008. He locked the door anyway,